Welcome to the Photography Opinion Podcast. We discuss all things photo, video, and camera related. I'm Ben Lucas.
And I'm Stuart Marlantis.
And this is Photo Op.
Today we're going to talk about perhaps the biggest topic when you're capturing images, lighting. And really this episode is going to focus more on lighting gear, but we're going to talk about lighting today. As the weather gets brighter and better, we start to get questions about whether you should even bother with lighting or whether you should just shoot with natural light only. So that's another topic of conversation. Should you even bother with lights? Should you bother with lights? Yes, no. And if you do bother with lights, what lights should you bother with and where and why? I think that's what we're going to discuss.
That pretty much sums it up. No, so I always get a lot of condescension from the hipsters who go, well, I'm a natural light photographer. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm also an available light photographer, which means I will use any light I have available. So, with that, I got that line from Joe McNally, by the way, so props to you. Thank you, sir. No, so I like I said, I do honestly get a lot of condensation.
Condensation?
Not water. Condescension.
There you go. You got there in the end.
I got there eventually. I get a lot of condescension from natural light photographers who think they're better than me. Well, okay, as soon as the sun goes down, you can't have paying clients anymore. What up?
Or when it's wintertime.
Yeah. Unless you go out into the middle of a snowdrift, you're basically limited to like 3 hours of sunlight. People that can only shoot from the hours of like 8 to 10, and then they can only shoot again when the sun's in the optimum position from 4 to 6. Like, no, don't be one of those people. Mm-hmm. Those people suck.
I'm a snowdrift light photographer, actually, so...
It is a very specific kind of lighting.
For me, it's not about the hours of the day. It's about the proximity to the poles or elevation.
How much condensation there is. Now
yeah,
I'm going the other way. I can't get that.
How frozen the condensation is.
Yeah, there you go. No, so natural light photographers, you are abominable and you're the worst. So stop flapping your gums and learn how to use lighting.
Well, I look at natural light as one of the tools, right?
Oh yeah.
Natural light is great, and being able to shoot with it is excellent, but you shouldn't. Much like you'll probably not stick to like a single lens, you probably shouldn't stick to a single lighting source.
So I was
limiting.
Just about to say there are people like Danny Diamond, who is a natural light photographer, who knows his lighting really, really well. Mm-hmm. He can find and craft that light just by using his natural environment, and he's incredible at it. But does he have a flash in his bag? Yes, he does. Does he know how to use it? Yes, he does. Mm-hmm. So natural light is his preferred, but he's just an amazing photographer who knows how to craft the light to his advantage. And most people who say that are saying it out of ignorance or laziness. Hashtag end rant. Okay.
Here's a question for you, though, really quick. Not to continue the rant, but is using, I know we're going to get to this later, but is using a reflector still considered a natural light photographer, or is that illegal?
Is it? Well, I mean, it goes both ways. So there are some people that will say, well, yes, it still counts because I don't have like a flash. I don't have to have like a battery electronic powered thing that creates my light. Mm-hmm. But like, I could light a torch on fire and use that. Does that count as natural light? Like, where do you draw the line? So I say, like, yeah, that totally counts as shaping and modifying the light to your advantage. There's one photographer, Eric Valland, who he shoots a lot of stuff in like California sun lifestyle, mm-hmm. and he uses like a super strong like reflector that's like blindingly strong, because he just backlights and then the California sun does all the heavy lifting with his big 10-foot reflector. Like, that's how he shoots his photos. Mm-hmm. So it's natural light, kinda,
When does it become non-natural? Like, is a candle natural? Is a bonfire natural?
Are neon signs in your favorite teriyaki restaurant natural? I've seen a lot of that too.
Wait
like
a minute.
Streetwear.
I've got it. If it's caused by natural circumstances, it still counts. So if you light a bonfire, no go. But if there's a lightning strike and it catches some wood on fire, then it's okay.
Perfect. I love it.
That being said, although we're ragging on natural light, so-called natural light
I will
photographers,
continue to do so. So here's a funny story actually. So I just did a shoot with a model where we were doing some fitness work. And he was saying like, wow, I really love how you just, embrace natural light and your photos look amazing and so much different from this guy I shot with last week who he shut all of the curtains in the studio and he closed everything off and he set up like a bunch of different lights. Like, this is just really nice. You know what the only difference is between me and the guy he's talking about? I needed a little more space to use a telephoto lens, so I opened my garage door so I could step out the front of it. He was lit with 5 different lights, 6 if you count the garage door. So
it's a light in your arsenal for sure.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
And although we rag on this, there is something to be said for the natural light look. Where you're using available, or some would say artificial lights, but you're trying to get a very natural look that's very popular, very desirable, and that is certainly something that we can go through, and that is worth considering when you think about your lighting and when you think about your lighting gear. So how would you go about achieving that natural light look?
So there is something to be said for those photographers I was ragging on that only want to shoot between like 4 and 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. That's because when you do a photo at sunset, it looks amazing. And I bring my lighting gear with me every time to every shoot. But some shoots, I just don't open it up because I just look at the scene in front of me and it did all the hard work for me. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 examples of this. One is just I met my family for Easter a couple of weeks ago, and because of COVID, we didn't have like family Christmas photos, which is the one thing my mom asked me for is when we get together for Christmas, can you take a family photo? Yes, I can, Mom. So I brought my camera since we missed that opportunity last year. And they're like, cool, go ahead and set up like in the living room. Well, my brother just got a new house and his living room looks immaculate and amazing. And he has these giant like 2-story floor to ceiling windows. And it was like at sunset when I was shooting it. And then it came in, bounced off all his white walls. And I'm just like, nope, I don't need to set up anything. I'm just going to aim a camera at that wall and have y'all stand in front of it. It looks great. And they're like, normally you set up like 2 umbrellas. And I'm like, yeah, don't need it.
Good to go. Yeah. When you've got the perfect environment, it can work out.
Yeah, so sometimes the natural light just happens. Sometimes you're really good at what you do and you go hunt that natural light. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get you. And you find that natural light and you make the most of it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes, like I was shooting with a yoga instructor who she wanted that very nice, soft, flat, natural light look. But to get that natural light look actually takes a lot of light. So she likewise had kind of a skyrise apartment with a floor-to-ceiling window with really harsh sunlight coming in through the side. Well, to balance that out, we rolled down her shades, which were sheers, so they actually acted more like a scrim, and then to kind of diffuse that sunlight a little bit. And then I put a big 7-foot umbrella on the other side of her, and I had a light on the other side of her to kind of fill in and fight that sunlight so that she had that soft, wrapping, natural light look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that a lot of people say, but they don't really back up with any specificity. Like, natural light can look like many different things. Like, natural light doesn't mean anything. Do you mean soft light? Okay, fair enough. Like, soft light you can make. Do you mean hard light? Because if you shoot in the noonday sun, it's going to be very harsh, and it might not even look like what natural light is to people, which I assume means a large soft light source to most people.
So yeah,
yeah.
here's another great example. So my brother, who is a dentist, he has a bunch of people who works for him. There's the hygienists and the other dentists and like the clerical assistants and stuff. So he said, hey, we need headshots for the office. So I was running through something like 20 some odd people who work for him and just doing a bunch of headshots. Well, I can't schedule it on my schedule. I have to schedule it for when they're in the office, like, and on a lunch hour and don't have clients. So it is harsh noon sun and looks awful. So the first thing I did was put up a huge diffusion panel, a scrim, to kill that raccoon eye causing sun. And then I put up a softbox that I was planning on doing flash, but the sun was actually so strong, just the light bouncing off the white softbox was enough.
Nice.
And it did what I wanted. So I was shooting natural light with my flash set up, but I didn't even turn the trigger on.
I mean, if you don't need it, then don't use it.
So no, there's something to be said for like shooting in, being able to shoot in harsh light. I know there was a book, I forgot who did it. Actually, I want to say it was Eric Valland and Lindsay Adler, although I could be wrong. They have a book, pardon the French, Shooting in Shitty Light.
Nice.
which they basically talk about, like, get your subject out of the bad light and then create good light.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Natural light can be bad, can be good, but your job is to make it look good, soften it up, make the subject look great. So if you want that natural light look, it's really more about that. It's really more about control.
Yeah.
It's about softness. It's about managing the situation more than it is about, did you only use the sun or not? Sometimes you can get away with that. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah. No, whenever I'm shooting, I definitely think about the sun as another light source. So when I'm doing, like, let's say, like, lighting diagrams, I count the sun of it, unless I'm trying to black out all the windows and make it look like that the sun's not in it. I'm gonna use it, and it's going to influence, kind of like, it might influence camera settings. It might influence how I set things up. It might change. If I have really strong sunlight, I'm going to use a reflector. If I have really weak sunlight, then I'm probably going to set up another light to accentuate it. So no, there's a lot to be said for using natural light and then accentuating that natural light to help mold it and fit the vision of the thing that you're trying to shoot.
I got another question for you. If you take a solar panel and charge a light with that, is that still natural light? You're kind of rebroadcasting the sun, right?
Oh my god, I love that. Natural light photographers, we are coming for you. Learn how to use flash is basically what I'm saying.
Just charge your flash with solar and you're fine.
Oh man. Well, I mean, this was fun. I could go on for the next hour and a half, razzing on natural light photographers, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
There are some really genuinely good ones, and I use natural light. My go-to is to always set up a flash, but every once in a while, I will set up a flash, and then I will just kind of set it aside and go, actually, I don't need it. The other thing that's always really fun is, like, there's one photo shoot I remember. We were shooting at, I want to say it was like Gasworks Park. And we were right next to, I want to say, just like the public restrooms or something. And so, because it was harsh sunlight, and he was getting, like, the raccoon eyes and everything, I put him right next to the building so that he'd be in the shade. But what ended up happening was the building, the white of the concrete he was standing on and the white of the building was creating this big kind of soft box next to him. So to play that up, I actually used an on-camera flash speedlight, swiveled the head towards the wall, and then just bounced it and illuminated the whole wall. So I took a photo of him with this wall not in frame at all, just him and the Seattle skyline behind him, and people were like, that's green screened, clearly green screened. I'm like, no. I just use like a 20-foot softbox.
Nice. So we've razzed on natural light photographers a little bit, although we have given them a free out with solar power. I just like to point that out. We have helped them out a little bit. Although we've razzed on them, we shared some stories, how to get natural light, how to use the sun, how to think about the sun as another light source.
I'll throw in one more thing. Natural light is beautiful and gorgeous and amazing, but if that's the only tool you have at your disposal, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But we probably should talk about now artificial light, scary artificial light, or available light, as you so eloquently put it earlier. But I think maybe that's going to have to wait for next time. What do you think?
I think so. That is going to be a very, very in-depth and long discussion because I love lighting. I love lighting so much. You won't be able to stop me. So you'll have to.
Yeah.
But we'll do that, and that'll come out to you next week. So next week we will help you spend all of your money so you can buy all the fun lighting toys that you absolutely definitely need. Wink.
And buy some solar panels.
If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, you can email us at hello@photo-op.show.
Watch us on Ben's YouTube channel at NomCreative.
As in Om Nom Nom.
Share this with a friend, and you can listen to Photo Op anywhere podcasts are sold.
Or download it. 'Cause it's free.